So let's talk about Zara Dark Desert Nightfall Intense. This actually really surprised me on how well made it is. Actually, quite a bit of uniqueness to it as well. Let's talk about what it smells like, if the performance is any good, if it's a compliment getter, and my rating of it. So as soon as you spray it on, you're gonna get this soft, spicy kick with an additional kind of freshness to it. But it's not just about a soft kind of spiciness with a bit of freshness to it. Pretty much right away you're gonna get a dose of what I think is a super smooth Palosanto. So if you never put your nose to any fragrance with Palosanto woods in it, then basically it's woodiness, usually quite a smooth woodiness, together with something that makes it slightly sort of dusty. And there's definitely something very unique about the Palosanto. And to my nose, that Palosanto definitely is quite prominent right away in the opening. But I'm gonna say this, I think it's prominent, but prominent done in quite a smooth and soft way. And right away I actually feel that the opening of this is quite gorgeous. And I recently did a review of Moonrise on the Horizon Intense, and I actually feel the same way about Dark Desert Nightfall Intense as I do about this one, in that I feel that this is extremely well made and also quite well balanced. The more Dark Desert Nightfall Intense moves away from the opening and into the heart of it, the more I'm picking up on a soft but really nice, smooth kind of florals. It's definitely not a loud kind of floral side that comes in, but you can definitely feel something sort of a floral coming in, which basically makes the whole thing a bit more exciting and definitely something that adds a nuance to the whole thing. So at this point it's basically all about a smooth kind of spiciness, an extremely smooth dose of that Palosanto, together with something a bit floral, and much like the opening, I still feel that the whole thing is extremely well blended and at the same time well balanced. So I really enjoy both the opening and the heart of it, but the dry down is where I feel this thing really shines. And one way to sort of describe the dry down of Dark Desert Nightfall Intense is like if you would take the Palosanto wood and on top of that you would add a dash of something softly coconutty, like almost powdery coconutty. Now hear me out, I do not feel this has a loud kind of coconutty kind of scent to it, but there's definitely something slightly coconutty, powdery coconutty that sits on top of that extremely smooth and almost dusty kind of woodiness. There's definitely something softly fruity and softly sweet in the dry down as well. And the last thing you're getting in the dry down is a dose of vanilla. So the first time I sprayed Zara Dark Desert Nightfall Intense on, I was like, hey, this is nice, but maybe it's not something special. However, the more I worn it, the more I realize, the more I pick up on all the different nuances, its depth, and the way all of those things comes together in what I think is an extremely well blended and well balanced way. And all of that basically means that I've come to the conclusion that I do feel that not only is this a really nice scent, but also a scent that, at least based on my experience and the scents I put my nose to so far, something that actually is a bit unique. So before I move on to the vibe of Dark Desert Nightfall Intense, I do want to say that I do feel that this is very much a unisex kind of scent. But if something is unisex, female or male, is so subjective, so to someone else this might be extremely masculine or feminine. But I do feel this thing is very much unisex. So let's talk about the vibe of a Dark Desert Nightfall Intense, and I do feel, I mean, whenever you put Palosanto in a fragrance with its extreme smoothness and a bit of sort of a dusty feel, I do think the scent pretty much right away moves into something that has quite a classy and elegant vibe. And the way that Palosanto comes together with the vanilla that has a bit of sweetness to it, the soft floral side that it has, at least to my nose, adds even more sort of a class and elegance to it. But here's the thing, that vanilla that has a bit of sweetness to it and that soft sort of a fruitiness that it has definitely has quite a sexy vibe to it. And that vibe takes me to usage and occasions, and I do feel that this definitely leans more towards something for formal or special occasions, and Also, definitely when you're going on a date. But I mean, you could, of course, wear Dark Desert Nightfall Intense to work or school as well. As for seasons, even though I do feel that this has a bit of sweetness to it, it definitely has a bit of depth to it, but I do not feel this is an overly deep, overly heavy, overly sweet, or overly warm kind of scent. So I do feel that this is a scent you can wear throughout the year, but this is definitely not a freshie. So while I've already worn this on a warm summer night, if it's super warm outside on a very warm day, I'm definitely gonna be reaching for something that I feel is more intensely fresh and refreshing. So let's move on to compliments and mass appeal. And I do feel, I mean, this is so extremely well blended and well balanced that it's going to be hard to find someone that dislikes it. And I do feel that most people who get a whiff of it will enjoy it. So here are my thoughts on the performance of Dark Desert Nightfall Intense. I do not feel this is an overly intense kind of scent. I definitely do not feel it's a beast mode kind of fragrance, but for Zara, this actually performs quite well. I'm gonna put the longevity somewhere between 6.5 and maybe almost getting to 7.5. So at least on my skin, this thing lasts quite well. When it comes to the projection though, I'm gonna say this ain't overly strong, maybe like 6 or 6.5. You're most likely gonna get noticed with it on, at least if you like spray it properly for like the first hour or two. But again, do not expect this to be a beast mode kind of fragrance. So let's quickly talk about the price. And I paid around 30 bucks for 100 ml of this. So it's definitely not an expensive fragrance. So what are my final thoughts on Zara Dark Desert Nightfall Intense and how am I going to rate this thing from 1 to 10? The way that super smooth Palosanto wood with a slight sort of a dustiness to it sits together with that vanilla and that sort of almost dusty or powdery kind of coconuttiness that I'm getting together with a bit of sweetness in this is something I feel is fantastic. To me, this is understated elegance. This is definitely not a loud kind of fragrance. This is something that goes into your nose in such a smooth and well-balanced way. And that was actually one of the main things that really surprised me. I mean, I said this before, Zara has really stepped up the game the last few years, but I did not expect something this well blended and well balanced. With that said, I'm gonna give Zara Dark Desert Nightfall Intense 8 or 8.5. And if I look at what it smells like, the amount of juice versus price, I do feel this is extremely good value. So this is what I want to hear from you. How do you feel about Zara Dark Desert Nightfall Intense? Do you feel it's an absolute banger? Do you feel it's mid or do you dislike it? Drop a like and subscribe for more. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And make sure you check out my other videos over there.